Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the story time on the day that we got caught hanging out when we weren't supposed to. So for those of you who don't know, I made a video a couple weeks back basically explaining all of my relationships that I've ever been in, and I just broke down to you the reason that we broke up in the first place. But if you haven't seen that video, we started dating in the end of 2017 and then we broke up at the end of 2018. So if you want to know the reason why we broke up, it'll be in that other video. I'll link it down below. So we didn't talk for the whole beginning of 2019, and our story kind of starts off on July 16th, which was a Tuesday night. So I actually have the exact receipts pulled up on my phones from my Instagram DMs, which is where he contacted me from. And I explained a little bit of these DMs in the other video as well, but I'm just gonna go through them again really quickly. So I posted a boomerang of a countdown to the day that I was going to get my wisdom teeth done, and he slid up that night, which was July 16th at 9:11 p.m. and said, "That's gonna hurt." And I was like really kind of scared to answer because I wasn't allowed to talk to him at all. And again, you kind of have to like know why we broke up to understand why I wasn't allowed to talk to him and why I was so forbidden to like even be seen with him. So I responded and I just said, "I know, I'm nervous," but like I only said that because like I didn't know what else to say. We were just like making small talk. He asked how I'd been and I said good, and then he just like was trying to keep a conversation. I could tell that you were like, "How's YouTube? How's your car? How's your cat? How's your mom?" And I was like, good.
So basically me and her were talking until like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, and I was actually sleeping over at Maddie's that night because I didn't want to go home, because if I were to leave my phone out and his message like came up through my Instagram, like I just didn't want to risk it. So I ended up staying over at my best friend's house, and I was just up all night and we were texting, and at the end of the conversation we had ended up making plans to meet up.
You did.
Now, it was, hold on, let's bring this up. Well, apparently at around 1:30, I asked him when he wasn't busy, and he said, "I'm free all the time." And I said, "Same." And he said, "Pick a day." So I could have just been asking like, "Oh, like what do you do these days?" And you asked, basically.
No.
I don't know. I said tomorrow, and he said, "Oh, you meet today," because it was like already past midnight. So we talked about lots of places like where we thought we could meet up, like where would be the best, and we ended up thinking about a close nearby diner. So we ended up doing that, and I remember after like I went to bed and everything, I woke up, I went straight home from Maddie's, I got all ready and everything, and then I left my house around like 9:50ish to go meet up with him around 10, because that was what our plans were. And you can take away the story from there.
I was just sitting in the car, I was really nervous. I was like, oh my god, this is actually happening. And
yeah.
She came and she gave me a hug, and then she was crying.
Yeah, I got out the car and I like ran to him, and I like started crying because like it honestly seems so corny and like stupid, but like when you have somebody that's so close to you, and it's not even like you dated them for a year, like he was like my best friend, and like I literally talked to him every day of my life. So like to just like go to seeing him every single day of my life, literally ever since we were little, to like nothing, because we couldn't talk, we weren't allowed to, so I didn't have him on any social medias, and then just seeing him in person, like it's like really crazy. Like it honestly felt like it wasn't real. But yeah, we met up, and then we ended up taking my car, and we left his car at the diner, and we were just kind of like driving around like talking, and we were also thinking of places that we could go for about like a half an hour. So it's now around like 10:30, 10:45, and we ended up going to a park, but it wasn't like a close park by like my house and stuff. It was just like a nice random park, like I don't really know. During the time we were driving around, we like ended up parking at Walmart. We were talking there, like we just like were going literally random places because we obviously couldn't go to our houses or anything. So we get to this park and we end up picking a parking spot, and I'm not even joking, the second I get out of my car to like go walk in the park, I get a call from my father, and I was like, okay. And I answered it, and it was a FaceTime call, which was really, really odd because My dad never FaceTimes me. Like, he'll usually, like, call me to see, like, oh, did you do the dishwasher? Did you, like, what are you doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. So, like, for him to FaceTime me, it was kind of like, like, it's kind of weird. But I don't think he had any reason to believe that I was doing anything suspicious, because sometimes me and Maddie usually did just go to the park. Like, it was summertime and it was nice out, so it's not, like, anything, like, out of the ordinary that I would be doing. So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get caught. Like, whatever. I answered the call and I had, like, Darian stand off to the side. He was actually standing behind a tree. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm at the park. And he was like, you're at the park. And he just seemed so suspicious already. Like, no. And I was like, yeah, why? He was at work, so keep that in mind. It's not like he could just, like, drive to where I am right now. I told him that I was taking some pictures, and it was actually really, really hot that day. Like, hotter than a normal summer day. So about an hour goes by. We were just, like, walking around the park. We walked the trails. We sat at the bench. We were just, like, messing around, like, talking and stuff. And I get another call from the same person, my father. And he goes, "He's still at the park?" And I was like, yeah. I told him that I was by myself as well, because he asked me if I was with anybody, and I wasn't going to say, oh yeah, I'm with Maddie, and then have him be like, oh, where is she? And then, like, not be able to, like, show her. So I just said I was by myself. So he probably thought that was suspicious, like, the being alone part. But, I mean, I wasn't going to say. I was obviously with Darren. I wasn't going to say I was with Maddie. So that was, like, the only other thing I could really say. And I guess he put 2 and 2 together that, you know, why is Tori at a park by herself taking pictures in the above 100-degree hot weather?
Yeah, it was hot. With
the muggy bugs and everything that I literally hate. Like, he just knows, I guess, that I don't like going outside.
So we left that park around like 1 o'clock, and we were heading back to the diner to go to my car.
We were now both driving separate vehicles, so we were just, like, driving around, thinking of places that we could go that wouldn't really be suspicious or that wouldn't get us caught. And we were thinking about, like, free fall. We were thinking about, like, maybe just going back to the park, because there was, like, really nowhere else to go. We were only really driving together for, like, a little bit, and then he took his car back home, and then I picked him up, not from his house, because if I was caught in his development, like, if my dad happened to be checking my location at that very moment, like, no. So I remember that I went to a nearby store and he met me there, and that's where I picked him up. And then we went to Friendly's, which is a restaurant, and I actually used to go to that restaurant a lot in the summer with Maddie, and that's why I thought it was a good idea to go there, because I literally was there almost once a week eating food with my best friends. It's like a sit-in place. It's not just like a drive-through. So my dad would definitely know that I wasn't, like, eating in by myself. So I went to a place that he knows me and Maddie go to. So I thought that was, like, really smart, you know? Like, good idea on my part. I actually have, like, a boomerang that I took on Snapchat of when we got our food. So I got broccoli and shrimp.
I got a big plate of waffle fries.
Yeah, so we were just sitting there and eating. And that is actually the last memory in my phone in Snapchat on July 17th. And then the next memory skips to July 22nd because I got my phone taken away. So I can't really tell you the timestamps after Friendly's, but I remember it pretty vividly. Like, it was a pretty memorable day. So we finished, I would say, around maybe like 3:30ish. And that's around the time that my dad gets out of work. So I was like, okay, so I really have to be careful around this time, because he really could drive up to my location if he wants to. So I was like, okay, we should, like, go back to the park, which that's not a good idea looking back. Like,
but you wanted to go to the park by your house.
Yeah. Now, you guys, this is not the first park that we went to in the morning when we met up. This is now a different park that is actually closer to my house. Like,
why would you do that?
And I remember you even saying, this is, like, a bad idea. Like, why would we go, like, by your house?
And you're like, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah. Like, that was kind of, like, stupid on me. You probably listening to this story, like, I would plan this way better. And trust me, I would too. We get to this park that's, like, close to my house. And when I say close, I mean, like, I could walk there in probably, like, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
So, if my dad's driving, it'll take him maybe like 3 minutes, not even. It wouldn't even give me enough time to check his location, because I'm not going to be checking it every second. But keep in mind that I really was checking it throughout the day. Like, I would be on his location and be like, okay, he's still at work. He's still at work. He's still at work. So, like, I was, like, keeping tabs, and I was, like, being smart about it. But I guess going to the park wasn't the smartest move.
I was more like, I was like, where's your dad?
Yeah, like
I was on that.
Like while we were eating, he literally had me have my phone open and have the location. He would refresh it every like
I was eating
20 seconds, because you guys literally don't understand how much I like had in my head, you're not supposed to talk to him, you're not supposed to talk to him. So like if I was caught hanging out with him, I couldn't even imagine like what would happen. It's not long before we leave, because we honestly didn't leave because we felt suspicious. We honestly, I don't know where we were even gonna go. We just like wanted to leave the park just because, and if we would have left literally a minute earlier, we would have made it. So we start walking from the like playground down to the parking lot. There's like a little hill, so the park's at the top, and then the little hill and the parking lot's like right there. And my car is like parked right in front of the park, so it literally is like only a couple steps to my car. So we're walking, and he's actually giving me a piggyback ride down the hill. And
then meanwhile,
my dad was running over to us, which I didn't know because I didn't see him. And I was like kind of like worried about not falling on the hill because I was on his back.
We were in the car, and we were just chilling. I was like, are we gonna go? And I looked to my corner, and I'm like, Tori, your dad's right there. You're like, you're joking.
Yeah, because
Tori, he's right there.
Because you joke so much. Like literally earlier in the day, like I'm not even joking, I think we were walking out of Friendly's, and he was like, oh, your dad's driving by, your dad's driving by. And I'd be like, oh, stop. And like, I mean, I couldn't even believe you. Maybe if you didn't joke around, I would have been like, oh my god. But like, it's not like I would have sped away any. Like, he saw me, and it's actually really funny because he didn't know it was him at first. Like, he thought I was just with like a different guy, like maybe I like was with a friend or something, like I don't know. And then as he's getting closer, he notices like his hair and like his hoodie and stuff like that, and actually makes out that it's him, and he starts running. And by this time, I'm in my car, so I don't know that this man, which is my dad, is running over to me. The second I put my car in park, like I hear this a bang on my trunk, and I thought like, I don't even know what I thought. Like I literally didn't even think anything. My brain was just so blank. Like I had no thoughts running through my brain. Like at this moment in time, like just like I wasn't like, I was just like
I thought like at this point we were like never gonna be able to, you know, date or anything. I was like, yeah, we just messed up. Well, I didn't mess up. You did.
You agreed to it and you met me. So at this time, I'm actually like halfway out of the parking spot. So like, I'm like maybe here, and I'm like kind of pulled out. So like I either have to go or like pull back in because like I'm kind of like in the middle. So he knocks on the window, and I obviously roll it down because I'm not just gonna sit there and ignore him. Like I'm already caught. Might as well just cooperate, or else I'm gonna make this worse. He says, "Get your ass home." And I said, okay. And he's like out of breath because he was running. His like face is beet red because it's like really hot out. So like he was running in the hot, he's like sweating, and he looks like kind of scary. Like I was like scared. And I want to just make a note that my dad is not like strict. He's not like a hard to get along with dad at all. So for me to see him like this, like I actually have never seen him so mad in my life. Like I just, I actually told some of this part of the story of like how I got caught in the story time. I didn't really go into detail about like what we did throughout the day and stuff like that, so that's like really what this video is. Darren, you were just sitting there, like you didn't even have anything to say. You were like staring at the window. You like,
yeah, I was just sitting there, and then he was like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm here. I just sat.
Yeah, I don't even know what you said. So I start to drive away, and the whole time until we got out of the parking lot, I was just silent. We were both just silent. We just had nothing to say. Like I was just like, we were just like rethinking our whole life basically at this point. I only had like a 2-minute drive to my house, so he ends up calling me. He tells me to take him home, so I end up taking him home. And this drive, I'm kind of like driving slow, and I get home, and there he is sitting on the porch, and I pull up, park my car. I knew that I was gonna get my car taken away. I literally already had my keys prepared. Like I literally walked up the sidewalk, and I said, here's my keys, here's my phone. Like I didn't know, like what was I, like, you know. He was like yelling at me. Obviously like he's gonna be upset. Like I don't blame him. Like I wasn't allowed to hang out with him, and I'm disobeying my dad's rules. We go inside, and we're both in the living room talking. He's on one side and I'm on the other couch, and he's just sitting down and explaining to me like, why would you do this, like after everything, like blah blah blah, I told you all this not to do this and you still did it. I was just sitting there like, like, I didn't have anything to say. Like, I know I was in the wrong, so like I wasn't even gonna be like try and be like, well, blah, 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 because like I didn't have anything to say. And even if I did, I don't really think I would mouth off anyway, because again, I'm in the wrong no matter what the reason is that I met up with him, no matter how much I wanted to see him, how much I missed him. My dad still set rules and I didn't follow them. My sister and Andrew, which is my sister's boyfriend, was also like standing in the living room, literally just like sipping their tea, like drinking, like I don't even know. They were just like sitting there like just like
listen,
all in the situation. And that like kind of annoys me when like people like are so nosy, but like I'm really nosy. So like my mom gets home around like 5:15ish, sometimes like a little later, like 5:30, like it depends, but it's around like the 5 o'clock mark. So I'm sitting on the couch bawling at this point, just because like I was so upset over the whole situation, and I knew that I probably would never be able to see him, hang out with him, and that just made me value that day even more. That if it would have been the last time I would have seen him, at least I had like a really good time with him until we got caught.
I was texting him like, hello, why aren't you texting me? Like, because you didn't tell me you got your phone taken away or nothing.
Well, I mean, you could have assumed that.
But then when I got later to like to the night, I'm like, she obviously got in trouble or something.
Well, clearly you saw how upset my dad was at the park.
I know they're gonna take your phone, they're just gonna talk, whatever. But then
no, like that's how serious they took it.
I think he texted me like 2 days later or 3 days later. He was like, oh, I'm sorry, my phone got taken away.
Mom walks in the door, gets home from work, and I'm sitting there crying. My dad is sitting over there, beet red face, and she automatically thinks something is wrong, which I don't blame her. Like, obviously, if you walk into that, like, you're gonna assume the worst. So she's like, what happened? And I can't even breathe over here. Like, I'm like, because like I'm crying so much, and like my dad is like, go ahead, tell her, go ahead, why don't you tell her? And I like couldn't even like talk, like I couldn't get out a sentence. He was like, she was caught with Darian. And she turns to me and she goes like that face, and I was like, now at this point are both talking to me about it. My mom is a little bit more chill about the situation, not because she thought it wasn't serious, just because my dad was definitely more against the idea than my mom. So yeah, I don't really know like how the argument ended. I know it was going for like a good hour and a half to 2 hours straight. But I don't really know like how it ended, if it ended good. I know I didn't talk back during the whole time. I was just kind of crying and listening. And I start walking up to my room, and he goes, we're not done. And I was like, okay. And I walk back downstairs, and I'm like crying. And he keeps talking, and I walk outside just for like some fresh air, because again, can't even breathe over here. He walks outside and he goes, I'm disappointed. And I go, I don't regret anything I did today. And at this point, I wasn't like crying. I was still like had tears running down my face. My eyes were like really red and like glassy, but I was like, I don't regret anything I did today. And I think I kind of just said that because I was already getting yelled at. So like, I know it, like, not that it was gonna make the situation worse and that I didn't talk back, but I just wanted to let him know that like he was important to me, and that like it wasn't just like a dumb in the moment decision that I made. Like, it was like something that I actually wanted to do. He just walked inside, and I was just sitting outside for a couple minutes just like thinking. And for the rest of the night, I didn't have any phone, I didn't have any car, couldn't go nowhere, couldn't text nobody, couldn't call nobody. I went to bed early because like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, I didn't even have my PlayStation either. Like, I didn't have...
Took everything?
Yeah, he didn't take my TV off my wall, but he just took my PlayStation, he took my laptop, he took my phone, my car. And keep in mind, again, he is not strict. I don't want you guys to think that he's like terrible or anything.
It was just in the situation what happened, that's why.
It was just, yeah. So that was like it for the rest of the night for me. So that was it for this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also comment down below what the riskiest thing you've ever done was. Like, I want to know your scandalous stories. Let me know down below. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on all my post notifications so you get a notification in your Dropbox every time I upload a video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and bye guys.